Welcome! Today I am going to teach you how you can make this fabric bowl here, which is what I use to hold all of my sewing clips. Now the reason why I'm giving you a little sneak peek to how I record my YouTube tutorials is mainly because in a lot of the comments below my tutorials, you guys are asking how you can make this bowl. Specifically, this one. I use this bowl all the time. I've always needed a second one to keep near my sewing machine, so I thought it was about time to actually make another one, and I hope that you enjoy sewing this fabric bowl as much as I do. Let's jump on into the tutorial and get started. You will cut one piece of cotton fabric for your lining, one piece of cotton fabric for your outer fabric, and then one piece of fusible fleece, or if you'd prefer, you can use a quilter's batting. I would use a thinner quilter's batting if you prefer. And you will cut all three pieces 7¼ inches high by 17 inches wide. And then an optional but adorable step would be to add some lace. Your lace will be cut 16 inches long, and you will want it to be about 1 inch in depth. I will have the fusible fleece as well as some lace options linked in the description down below. First step will be to fuse your fusible fleece to your outer fabric. And make sure that when you are fusing it together, you're following your fusible fleece instructions. And as you can tell here, I'm feeling to see which side the glue side is on. I like to have my glue side face up. Then I lay my cotton fabric face down on top of that, and then I fuse the two together. And at this point, you can leave this panel as is. However, I like the look of a quilted piece of fabric. So I am going to take my little tool here, which I will also have linked in the description down below, and my ruler, and I am going to mark 1 inch markings along my fabric panel. I'm going to bring it to my sewing machine, and I'm going to sew along those marked lines. I'm just going to lengthen my stitch length to a 3.5 millimeter stitch length instead of your usual 2.5 millimeter to give it a bit more of an elevated look. And now that your panel is quilted, it will be time to grab the lining fabric as well, because you will be cutting out your bottom corners the exact same on your lining as you will on the quilted piece of fabric. So decide what the bottom part of your fabric is going to be. Turn them over so you're working on the back side, and use a water-soluble marking pen to mark a 2 inch by 2 inch corner on both of those bottom edges. Then you can fold your panel in half if you like, so that you can cut both of those corners out at the same time. This will also help because once it's folded in half, then that folded corner, you're also going to mark a square, except that this square is going to be 2 inches high and 1½ inches wide, so that when you open up your panel, you have a section there in the middle that is a total of 3 inches wide by 2 inches high, and you'll cut that out as well. You'll do this on the lining and on the quilted panel. I hope that you are enjoying sewing your fabric bowl so far. If you are, please hit that thumbs up button. That lets YouTube know that this is a good tutorial, and then YouTube will share it with others. And of course, if you're not subscribed yet, please hit that subscribe button. I have some fun tutorials coming out in the future. All right, let's keep on sewing. Now, as you can see here, I have 4 different lace options because I just could not make up my mind. So I actually put out a poll on my YouTube community page and asked you guys which lace you thought would look best. And I am happy to say we ended up agreeing. And now it is time to trim my lace. So I want it to sit a ½ inch away from that outer edge. You will cut your lace 16 inches inches long, and you'll clip it in place. So make sure you're starting a 1/2 inch in from that outer edge, and you are stopping. For myself, I'm just going to trim away the other end of the lace so that I am stopping with a 1/2 inch on the other side as well. Then on both side edges of the lace, just fold it underneath, tucking it underneath the lace itself, and pin it in place. I do that to make sure that the edge of my lace does not end up into my seam allowance. Do that on both sides. Then you can grab your lining panel and lay it face down on top of your other panel, matching up those corners, of course. And then you can clip it all in place so that all 3 layers are neatly lined up along that top edge. Once you've done that, take it to your sewing machine and sew a 1/4 inch seam allowance along that entire top edge, starting and stopping with a back stitch. And now that that lace has been sewn in place, take it to your iron and just press that center seam down so that it angles towards the quilted outer layer, so the quilted outer panel. And if you have a tailor's clapper, once again, I can link to that in the description down below. It's totally optional. You don't need it, but I do like using it when I am trying to press a thicker seam in place. So I'll just run my iron across this edge, and then I will put my tailor's clapper on top of that. That way the seam cools down in the direction that I want it to be in. I just find that it helps a thicker seam stay in place before the next step, where we will fold this in half so you've got that long edge, and you'll match up that sewn seam, clip it in place, and clip along that long edge. Then you will, of course, clip along the top and bottom edges as well. And now that everything is clipped in place, take this to your sewing machine and sew a 1/2 inch seam allowance across the outer quilted panel's bottom edge, and then along the long edge, and both of those start and stop with a back stitch. And then with your lining, that short edge on your lining side, you actually want to leave at least a 3-inch opening there to turn everything right side out. So you really are only sewing about 3/4 of an inch in towards that center section, and on the other side another 3/4 inch section there. Both of those little stitches are going to be start and stop with the back stitch as well. Very important so that they don't come apart when it's time to turn your project right side out. So at this point you can take this to your iron and press those folded seams so that they are open, or you can finger press them open if you'd prefer. And then it is time to finish our corners. Each corner, you will just fold it so that it is in its 3D form, match up those edges, and then clip along the short edge. And I like to throw a few extra clips in past, so along the fold, just to hold everything in place nicely for when you bring it to your sewing machine. You will do this on all 4 of those squared corners. This one is super easy because you're lining up the 2 seams, of course, adding your clips in place. And then you're going to take this to your sewing machine and you will sew a 1/2 inch seam allowance across all 4 of those edges that you just clipped in place. And once again, start and stop with a back stitch. And this is what our fabric basket is starting to look like. We do have our little opening here in the lining. However, before we turn everything right side out, I recommend trimming away the excess from the 4 seams that you just sewed. And then it's time to turn your fabric basket right side out. Be very careful because you still have 2 pins in there holding your lace in place. So as you're turning your project right side out, when you get to those pins, you can remove them. Then with your finger, just gently push out all 4 corners of that outer fabric. And then that center section there that's still open in the bottom of your lining, just lay that flat, clip across that edge, take it back to your sewing machine and sew a seam allowance as narrow as possible, so as close to that outer edge as possible, starting and stopping with a back stitch and closing that hole in place. Then you can tuck your lining into your basket. And at this point, we do have one more seam that we want to sew. It's going to be a 1/4 inch seam allowance, and you are going to take this to your sewing machine. You will remove that larger section on your sewing machine off so that you have a bit of a narrower arm that the basket can tuck onto. And then you will be able to sew a 1/4 inch seam allowance around that entire top edge, starting and stopping with a back stitch before folding that top edge down, finishing up your beautiful fabric basket. And that is how simple it is to make yourself an adorable little fabric bowl. Now, of course, I use mine for my sewing clips, but you may have other ideas. Let me know in the comments down below what you're planning on using your fabric bowl for, as I am always curious what you guys are up to as well. And I hope that you guys have a wonderful day. I will see you next time. Bye for now.